Previously, on Chem 225.
In the last experiment, you reflux sodium hydroxide with methyl salicylate to create salicylic acid. In this week's lab, you will be reacting salicylic acid with acetic anhydride to form aspirin. The phenol group of salicylic acid will become an ester, and you will see in aspirin there is a carboxylic acid group as well as an ester. Heat the water bath between 70 to 90 degrees Celsius. Weigh out about 0.9 grams of salicylic acid. If you don't have enough, you can use the salicylic acid available in the lab. Add the salicylic acid to a small Erlenmeyer flask. Be sure to do the next steps in the hood. Add 2 drops of concentrated sulfuric acid with a dropper. Then add 2 milliliters of acetic anhydride to the flask. Mix the reactants thoroughly. Heat the mixture by placing the Erlenmeyer flask in the water bath. After a few minutes, the salicylic acid should completely dissolve and be colorless. You can keep the hot plate on and start warming some water and ethanol. Remove the flask from the water bath and add 1.5 mils of DI water to decompose the acetic anhydride. Wait for a few minutes for any reactions to occur and add 2 more mils of water. Cool the flask in an ice bath for several minutes. Be patient. If, after 5 minutes, crystallization has not begun, scratch the bottom of the flask with a glass stir rod. Filter the crystals and wash with ice-cold water. Save a little bit for later testing. To recrystallize the aspirin, start with a very small volume of warm ethanol. Start with 2 to 3 mils. Heat gently while stirring. Everything should dissolve when the solution reaches a boil. If it does not, add just a little more ethanol. Once dissolved, add about 4 to 5 mils of warm water. Heat the solution until it is clear. If it is not clear, add a few drops of ethanol as needed. Once it is clear, let it cool to room temperature. Then on ice. Filter and wash with cold water. Obtain a yield and a melting point. You will perform a ferric chloride test to determine if there is any starting material remaining in your product. Salicylic acid contains a phenol group, which can react with iron chloride, giving a blue or purple solution. Aspirin no longer has the phenol group and should not react with iron chloride, and the solution should be yellow. You will need to test phenol, salicylic acid, your crude aspirin, and the recrystallized aspirin with the ferric chloride test.